when we added this, when we clicked on this button, the count was increasing in the icon here as batch. We call it as batch. Small text getting displayed over an icon. This is called a batch notification. Okay. We saw a route of how to do this yesterday. From the shopping zone component, we came back to the app component. From the app component, as an input, we passed to the menu component. Today, we will see one more way of doing. We will be entering into a new concept in the web world called NGRX, which is a reactive state. You would have heard about reactive JS or React JS. So these are the reactive components or the reactive pieces to help the web flow smoother. This is a reactive X part of it. An API for asynchronous programming with observable stream. So we will be reading on the observable and how to use the observable, which is a very handy once you know it. This is a very cool feature. So we will be reading how to use this in the Angular. That is the NGRX. NG is Angular, RX is the reactive. So the reactive part of the Angular. So what is the reactive? When something...
Rajesh, that means it's like React JS or telling?
No, it is not React JS. Reactive. It is a reactive. Reactive means what we saw here is a reactive. When I change something here, the page is automatically reacting to it. This piece is automatically reacting. Correct? When I do some changes in a page, the another component which is there somewhere in the page is automatically reacting to the behavior, reacting to the click. This, okay. The same way, we will have lots of features in the page which we want it to be a reactive, meaning when a user changes an input, somewhere in the corner we have to show some alert. When they click on something, at the bottom something else has to happen. So these different components talking to each other in a reactive way. Reactive is normal English word, reacting. When something happens, we react. That is what it is. When something happens in the page, something else reacts to it. So when I click this is reacting. Oh, 29, you have added 29. When I click this is reacting. So a way to achieve this in a smoother way, what we have done now is we have done lots of coding. We are passing it, we are then sending it back to the menu. Instead of that, if we have one option where we do some changes in a page and some other part of the page is automatically reacting to it, that is called reactive. That is a very important concept which is used everywhere in the UI industry now. Everywhere reactive and React programmings are the latest stuff. So we use NGRX, which is an Angular package for the React. Same like
Rajesh, I have one question here. Just wish we wrote the same code yesterday section, right? And what's the difference between that one and this one? Just by getting the same reactive, right? Here?
No, that is we have achieved a reactive, but it is not. We have to write a lot of codes for that. The way we are going to do now, you will see that it is. We don't need to have a lot of code. See, the problem with this is, right, everything has to know the other things. Example, in app menu component, app component HTML, we have to catch this event. Correct? In app menu, app component, we have to write this function. Again, we have to pass it to a menu component.
Yes.
The menu component has to receive it again. This involves a lot of coding. We have achieved passing the data. This is called passing the data. But is it reactive? I will not tell purely reactive. It is reactive only, but by the way you look at things, it is reactive. But is it really reacting to something else? No. We are only forcing it to react. We are only sending the values. We are we are capturing, without our interference, the program should automatically react when something else happens. That is what we will be doing today. The same piece
Okay.
of logic I will show in a different way where you will understand what is the main difference.
Gotcha.
So we are going to use NGRX. We have material design, not material angular, material design, which is what is used in the Android phones. So it is material.io. So this is what is used in the Android. Where is the component?
You mean Android? That means in Android
And
applications?
Android phones. You see here, the Android phones have this plus.
Mhm.
This UI is a material UI. If you open up an Android, any app, Android application like contacts, whatever you go, that is built in material. This UI is, you can see all this UI in the Android phone, right?
Okay.
These are all not web pieces. See here, you'll get these in Android only, right?
Yeah.
So these are not web, these are Androids. So if you see the Android buttons, this is an Android button, text button, outlined buttons, toggle buttons. See, all these are Android components. What Angular did was it extended these components and built material.angular.io, which is compatible for web. I'm showing you the root. The root is not material angular, material.angular. We are using this, right? You are aware of this. We have been using this throughout the.
Yes.
But this is not the root. This came from material.io. This is the super parent. This side only first built all the material. Material design is a concept, or it is a technology of a lightweight UI. Material design in the app bar bottom. This is how it should be. So these things was brought by the material design team. This is how it should be. They provide how all the knowledge of how it is done. So this cannot be used in Angular directly because it was built for mobile. So Angular team took this code, they developed one more layer of the code for Angular as material.angular. So the same components, whatever we have there, we will be having it here. The same way, Rx is the root. RxJS, just now I closed, right? I don't remember the site name. rx.com. No. Gets NGRX. Not NGRX. NGRX is Angulars. NG means it is Angular. RxJS, right? RxJS. No. Reactive.io. We had an orange color background. This one. So this is a core. This is a parent. ReactiveX is a programming which is a parent. See, Rx Java, RxJS, Rx.NET, it is providing for all the languages. So using this core program, Angular team developed one more as NGRX. This is what we are going to use.
Okay.
So if you go there, we have the npm install command as npm I rxjx. I'll go here. I'll go to the project folder. Same like what we did for Angular material. Not here. It is project rs.
Okay, we are going to install a particular module here.
Yes, we are going to install the module so that we can take use of all the features. npm install, I think.
Yeah, we have to use the sudo. Just
npm i rxjs. npm i rxjs. Once this is installed, in the node module folder, we will see rxjs.
can you paste that one in the
Chat, right?
just I will install, just I will compare my node modules. Right now what I have, the one what I'm going to get.
Yes.
Okay, we are going to install in the app, but we are going to see those files in node modules, right?
Yeah, that
Rajesh?
will be. Yeah. That's a regular process where the files
Okay,
come
fine.
into the node module. What are we install? rxjs. So if you see here, updated one package. So rxjs 6.6.7 was installed. If I go to node module rxjs, here it is. This is installed now. I'll see if the server is starting without issues. So I closed my server also. Okay, let me restart. So with this, I can close out of this window. Now, the one component, it has lots of components like router store, entity, schematic, component store. It has a tons of features. We will use.
In the node module, just I got only one file. It's package log.json. That's what.
No. Node module, you would have got rxjs folder. Inside that, a ton of lots of files will be there.
Okay.
Once it is installed, okay, I will started the server. Let me go here. Okay, app is running smoothly, no issues so far. Now, what I have to do is, I will create one folder. Inside that shared folder, I will create one file as common.ts. Export class common.
You created a shared folder. In that shared folder, we created common.ts, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the file using which we will be sharing the data. I will give it as injectable. I'll tell what this is, and I will the syntax I'm injectable is from Angular core. but is my screen visible?
Yeah.
So I have created one file as common. I'll name it as common service because common is a keyword. So I'll just name it as service here. The class name I'll name it as common service, and the file name also I'll name it as common.service.ts. Okay, here I will be creating a new behavior subject. Has the npm got installed?
You are asking me, Rajesh?
Yes.
Yeah, it's. I think before. Yeah, it's installed. I don't know, but it's telling it's up to date.
Okay then. Yes, the value I have to go. So I will create one new behavior subject here. Now, once this is done, it is very simple. Just 2 lines of coding. One is, which is our emitter, from where the action has to be triggered.
From HTML, it has to.
The button click, correct? The add to cart button click.
Yes.
So this is the trigger. So we'll go to that page. That is shopping zone TS. The button click is coming here. Here, what I will do is I have to call this dot. That common service is there, right? The common service dot this shopping. I'll leave common service dot shopping component dot. We have to do something here and do something here. I'll come back here. So to use, now is this TS file aware of common service? No. We just created, nowhere we gave any reference.
Yeah, just we created a class just like that.
Correct.
Common
So
service,
now,
we don't have any object for that.
yes, we have to add it in the app module. Same like what we do. All the components, whatever we create, we give it in the app module, right?
Yeah, we are going to initiate and declare what's that one, okay?
Correct. But here, one small change, we should not give in declaration. We should give in provider. I will tell you why. Common service, where it is in chat dot common dot service. Not shopping component, it is common service. So import common service, and instead of giving it in the declaration or import, we have a provider. This means we have something. So far, what all we have studied in the Angular components modules, correct?
Yes.
Components will have a HTML, CSS, and a TS file. Modules are like a package which is combining all the components. The third concept you are studying is service. Service is something which is used, which is like a helper class, which is used for all the backend operation, like calling an API, retrieving the data, passing data. So all these which provide service. So those are called service classes. So service classes also needs to be anything which we are using the application, app module has to be aware of it. That is rule number 1, that you are aware. Whatever we do, it has to be known to app module, or else Angular will not know it. So when we create a service, we have to provide it as a provider, which means this is a service which will be available in all these modules, all the components. You can use this everywhere throughout the application. So service alone we have to provide in the providers. Components we have to provide in the declaration. Modules we have to provide in the modules. These are all modules. You didn't include this mat button in the declaration part. You only gave in the import part, because this is how the things has to be done. Components, it has to be in the declaration. Modules in the import. We didn't give a component in the import section, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so component has to be given here. Modules has to be given in the import. Services has to be given in the provider.
Okay. For everything, there is like particular. Okay.
Everything
Okay.
in Angular. If you are creating a component, give in the declaration. If you are creating a module, give in the import. If you are creating a service, give in the provider.
That means there are a lot of services, I feel.
We can create as many services you want. You can create multiple services. One for module, one per module. Accounts module, account service. HR module, HR service. You can create for every module, you can create one service. So since we are actually giving it in the provider, we give this injectable word. This will be injected and will be used by all the components. This is a preliminary setup thing. This does not have any relation with the behavior subject.
We can call here the injectable as any reference, Rajesh. You are using at the rate, right? Can we call it as any reference or any?
It is for the Angular to identify that this class will be injected in all the components.
Okay.
So if I go to shopping zone, I said that I will use common service, but it is telling common service is not known. So what I have to do in the constructor, I have to just give common service, common service. What is the class name? That's all. I have to inject it here, which means I can, if I give this, I can start using the file to share the data. So you are learning a lot of things today. That's why I said it is very important. First thing is, I'll just do a recap. First thing is I'll open up this one. I'll open up. I'll open up Angular. Okay. It's not opening. I think some issues. Okay, then I'll take it here itself. So not this one. Okay, so what we learned first is services. These are the helper files to call HTTP, because the next step is we have to reach to database and get the data. So and sharing data across components. So we have services. So to use the service, we have to give in the provider section in app module. That is another thing. The services will be an injectable, and whichever we want, we have to inject in the constructor. These are the 4 steps we have to remember. This is a one-time configuration of service. So first thing, I created a service. I gave as injectable. I went to app module. I gave an import here. I gave in the provider. With this, app module is over. Next, in the shopping zone, if I want to use that service, I have to give like this in the constructor. This is creating object. This is same like declaring a variable, right? I'll give like num any. This is a declaring of variable in Angular. The same way, I'll declare a variable or an object of this common class. With this, since I have created this, I can give the name anything. So I'll use this dot common service dot this dot common service dot. Now it will start suggesting me dot shopping component. I'll give this as shopping component subject. Shopping component subject dot next. This is equal to emit. So what I will emit? Add is clicked. I will emit this, or I will emit an object. What is the action? Add clicked. And what is the value? This is a JSON object, item object. So action is add clicked, value is item object. That's all. The code here is over. We are telling to the, we are passing it to a common service and telling that this has changed. Now the menu has to receive it. We will go to menu component. Please, try to understand this. If not, before the class, get it clarified. This is very, 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 very important concept. You can do wonders using this concept. Many of them don't know to use this concept, don't understand this. So what we do is very simple. We go to this component. Here also we have to access common service. So what I said, we have to give in the constructor private common service object common service. And where is the common service? I have to give an import. It is in shared folder. What happened? Multiple constructor. Oh, already I have a constructor. Okay, I can delete it. I didn't realize. Okay. Now here, very simple. In the init, this is the reactive. This is where the reactive comes. What we will tell is this dot common service. You see, go into the common service dot shopping. There is a subject called shopping, and you subscribe to that dot subscribe. This subscribe is same as subscribing a newsletter, subscribing a newspaper, local term, whatever you want, you can correlate, subscribing to something which you want. If that something comes, we will be getting a value here. Console.log result has arrived here. We will do also an alert. Someone clicked add to cart somewhere. I don't know where it is. I don't know from where it got clicked. All I know is someone has clicked it and I got a message. That's all. Now let us go. Let us see if this magic works. I click here. See here, someone has clicked the card somewhere. I don't know where it is. This is reactive. This component is not at all aware. Now I can delete everything. Whatever we did like coding previous week, yesterday, right? Where it is menu, no, app component HTML. I need not pass it. I can remove it. I need not capture this. I can delete it. And in menu component TS, I need not give an input. I can remove it, but I'll not remove the variable. I'll have the variable because I want that variable to be used in the HTML to show the count. I'll go to shopping TS. I'll remove this emit. I will remove this emitter. Everything I will remove. The code is very clean. Now I'll go through the flow once again. The control comes into the shopping button click. The button click calls the common service shopping object subject. This is called a behavior subject from RxJS. And it is calling next, which means the button has clicked. I am sending out an alarm. I am passing action, add is clicked, and this is the value. Whoever wants can subscribe and use to it. So this is like a newspaper publisher who is printing and sending out to the local shops. Here, the menu component, this subscribe is equal to the customer menu. He is a customer. He is subscribed in the local shop. So he will get a copy of the newspaper. He will not know how it came. He will not know who sent that newspaper. We see that it is published in 5 or 6 different areas. We don't know. I mean, few newspapers are printing, but just take this example. He will not know from where it came. All he knows is, I subscribed, I got a message. This is the, now you can correlate with whatever we did yesterday. All programmings are removed. Whoever is clicking will have to just send it to the common service. Whoever wants can subscribe to the common service and retrieve it. That is all. It is end of story. What is app menu is not terminated. I removed something else by mistake. App component. Okay, there is a double quotes. But now if you see someone click, add is click. Okay, someone click, but the counter is not adding because I have to add it manually. Instead of adding it manually, yeah, I have to add it in the menu component. Yes, I have this array. So whenever a message comes, what I will do, I have to push it here. Dot this dot this object dot push. What I have to push? Result. If you see here in the result, what will come? The result will come like this. Action and value both will come. I want to take only the value now. Result dot value. I have to push this object. Now this will work as expected. Here we go. Any questions?
Right now, I don't have anything. I just have to go through it and I have to practice.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Because this is very important. I would definitely want you all to at least have this setup, because this is very crucial. Once you know the so far what all we have read, passing input from parent to child, emitter, subject. That's all. If you know these 3 things, we don't have anything big concept. There are like small concepts in Angular that we will go through, but the major which is needed for a functionality is done. So all the database calls will be done here. Now I will write void fetch items. I will be writing here. I will be calling database here, and I will be assigning it to a result. That result I will be using in the shopping zone. Instead of we have hard coded here, correct? This will be fetched from the database. Let us do that. Here, let us declare this item array here and fetch items. I will be returning the items array. This dot items array. So from here, from the common service, I am returning. So here in this shopping zone, I will delete this. Everything is cleaned up. In the init method, I will call this dot common service object dot fetch. I have to make it public. Fetch items. Fetch items. And fetch items is going to return this dot items array. So this items array, I have to capture it here. I will declare here and I will capture it here. This dot items array. So what is the problem? Item dot item description. Property item description does not exist on type never. Shopping zone component on type never. Shopping zone HTML7. This dot item array equal to this dot common service dot fetch items. Let me print here and see. Console.log this dot item array. Line number 5, shopping zone component. Property item description does not exist on type never. Shopping zone component HTML items array. We have this items array here. ng on init console.log calling on init. But the value is coming, I see a result. What is the problem? Shopping zone component line number 10. Item description. We have this item description. This dot items array. ng on init. I'll call this in the constructor. So line number 10. Let me go here. Item dot item description. Item name. No, something else is wrong. Okay. I'll see this in the weekend. For now, what I will do, I will just retain it as it is, and I'll comment this piece of code. Okay. So calling the init, so all these things are come. So this is what this is what NGRX, behavior subject. When you go to interview, one of the primary thing they ask is emitter and subject. What they ask is, how do you pass data between components? That's a common question. How do you pass data between components? First thing is using the emitter. We send it out through emit. We capture it here using input. We then pass it to the child component. Second is through subject. We install the RxJX. We call the next in the emitter, not in the emitter. We call the next in the behavior subject. We subscribe and get that value. These are the two ways through which we can pass data. At the end of the session, I will have one session dedicated for interview questions, commonly asked questions in Angular. So what are, you can note down those things. What are the commonly, let us say if you tell you are an Angular guy, you know Angular, what are the common things people will be expecting? So I'll go through that once. So that is it I had. Any questions we can go through? Or Ganesh, you want to try it out now or later you will do it?
Later I will do that.
I'm sorry?
Later I will do.
Later you will do.
Yeah.
Just but if you are not able to finish by the Monday's class, Monday in the class we will go through it in the session.
Okay.
Because I want you to have this working before I proceed. Because everything else will now be depending on this.
Yes.
Okay. So even if you are not able to do in the weekend, no issues. Monday morning we will do it the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else? I'm done for today. Jana, you have anything, or Arul?
Rajesh. Yesterday I asked one question, but in
yes.
middle of I forgot the question, Rajesh.
You asked me how to open a new folder in Sublime. Here, you have to go. You asked me how to open a new project, correct? How to open a folder.
And then how it is mapping the Sublime with
yes.
Okay. That's the one, right? Okay.
Yeah, correct. So what you have to do is you have to go to File, Open Folder.
Okay.
And this will come. You can navigate to your project wherever it is.
Okay.
And then you select folder.
And here we given the from SRC, from wherever you want.
Correct. I usually map it only to SRC. The reason being, I'll show you. If I am going to map it outside of SRC, you
RS app.
Yes, open folder. If I go here, I'll have the node modules here.
Okay.
Bringing the node modules here means bringing around 900 folders.
Oh.
And nearly like 2000 plus 3000 plus files will be there.
Okay.
Displaying here will not be an issue because it's going to be minimized. But the actual problem comes when I do a finding, Control-Shift-F. If I do a find like a subject, it is going to search and see 55,000 files.
Oh my God. Okay.
That is why usually I don't point it to the outside folder. I point to the SRC.
I got you. You open the folder just to close it. You close it means that means the one which you open, it's not going to save, just it's going to close automatically.
Yes.
And okay, whatever the thing you given Control S, the next time it is going to come that one, right?
Correct. You're right.
Okay. Rajesh, and one more thing. This one, It's a silly question, but I'm asking.
Yeah, yeah, please.
This one we can push into GitHub, right?
We can.
Okay.
All you have to do is
all Visual Studio and everything we can, right? Because in my current project we are using Visual Studio. I am telling that we are migrating something.
Why do you want to push Visual Studio to GitHub?
No, Visual Studio Code.
That is a local machine exe. That is a local machine folder. To the GitHub, what we'll do is we'll push this code, the SRC. This one we'll push it to GitHub.
Okay.
This entire folder minus node module.
Okay.
This will be pushed to GitHub.
Okay.
I have an SVN installed, so you see here I can do a add. The same way you can install the GitHub local and you can push it to GitHub.
Okay.
All you have to do is find out the local setup of GitHub.
We need local setup. Everybody, they will have their GitHub account, right?
Yeah, it will be pointing to your GitHub only, right?
Okay.
See, you will be actually signing up with GitHub, and you will have a repository. Correct. The way GitHub works is, when you sign up with them, they will be providing you one place where you can have your code, and you will be working in your machine, local machine. Correct. So when you work here, you cannot run a code there. You have to check out the code to your local machine, which means you have to take a copy of the code from the GitHub to your local machine. Here you will be doing the changes. After you are done with the changes, you will be pushing it back to the GitHub. So to take the code and to push the code, we will have a GitHub UI. GitHub UI for Windows. GitHub desktop. So if you install this in your machine, this will ask your GitHub credential.
Okay.
Once you provide the credential and your setup, you have installed this one, then there will be an option to check out. It is going to check out from your repository, from your sign up. When you commit the code, it will go to your repository.
Okay, GitHub desktop is different. GitHub account is different, Rajesh.
Yeah. GitHub desktop is just a wrapper class or just a framework. It does not have a code by itself.
Okay.
It will connect to the GitHub repository, and it is going to push or pull the codes.
Okay. Just it is going to act like an agent from our computer to GitHub.
Correct. This is just a UI.
Okay.
So that otherwise, what will happen, right? You to check out and check in the codes, you need to execute commands in GitHub. You have to go to terminal.
Yeah.
And start writing commands.
Okay. That's where I am confused, because
it is tough.
We are using terminal. Why we are using? Okay. Now I got you. Okay. Without this one also.
For everyone to write a terminal command.
Okay.
So they will write the command behind. When they have this, they will be writing the command behind when we do a checkout or check-in.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? We are good for today. So try to do the setup. Else we'll do Monday. Next week we will be stepping into one middle level of Angular. We have been working on basics. Today actually we started into the next level. The subject itself, subjects and emitters are moderate concepts. So next level we'll go more into advanced and see how to use these stuffs. That will be part of the next 10 days of the session. Okay.
What we are going to discuss, Rajesh? I didn't get you.
We'll dive more on these subjects, how to use these subjects effectively, how to transfer the data. We have few more concepts in the subjects as well. Just concepts. We'll see how to. We just saw a basic of doing stuffs. We will see more in depth on this one using some examples. This program, this site will be building more. Actually, we'll be bringing in a shopping cart section. We will be providing option to add, delete. Now we cannot see what is in our cart, right? There are 9 items in the cart. We'll provide an option to see those 9 items. We'll provide an option to remove an item, delete decrease the quantity, increase the quantity, and then we will go into like the third week, the third 10 days of the section. We will be going into one interesting concept. We need a database to fetch the values, correct? Currently, we are showing everything as hard-coded array. This array, as it is, we will be storing in the Firebase. We will go into the Firebase database. Yeah, I think I have a database. Yeah, I have it. Firestore is actually a latest database. We will not go through any of these things because this itself is a very high complicated subject. What I will do is this data, whatever we are storing here, I will be storing in this database, and then we will hit this URL and get the data. So you will know how to call a API from the Angular and fetch the data.
Okay.
That will be the third level. Because we are so far we have been having only in the local. We need a data store to place it. We'll place it and we'll use the API URL. We'll call the values and then we will be displaying it here. So when we do some changes here, it will be updating in the database. That would be a real time. That would be the next step. Okay, good. So those will be there not in the next week. I think it would be the following week after the next week. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then. So talk to you Monday morning.
Rajesh, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Ganesh. Bye.